The impacts of climate change affect every country on every continent. They're creating unprecedented challenges for millions of people already burdened by poverty and oppression. The increased frequency and intensity of extreme weather events like hurricanes, wildfires and droughts threaten the world's food supply, drive people from their homes, separate families and jeopardise livelihoods. And while we experience the impact here at home, all of these effects increase the risk of conflict, hunger and poverty for many communities around the globe on the very edge of existence. Sometimes such problems can seem too big or too overwhelming for anything we might do to have any impact. The climate crisis is certainly the biggest problem we are facing right now and eclipses almost every other challenge. We face a climate emergency with potentially disastrous consequences for human existence, consequences that are already being experienced by some of the most vulnerable people on Earth. But we should not be overwhelmed. The science shows that by changing how we live and what we do, the climate change we're facing can be addressed and the damage can be reversed. That will require global action, and in my role as an MEP, I can work directly on these issues and through the EU show that global leadership that is required. That's why I'm here in the European Parliament, voting on important climate resolutions ahead of the UN climate talks in Madrid in December. But it also requires each one of us to engage locally. This Friday, millions of school children will take part in a climate strike to demand better from their parents, teachers and from politicians like me. Everyone can take action in their own way. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you can contribute to a solution. That individual action will be backed up by political policies, from the Alliance local councillors who are working on active transport schemes and promoting the planting of 1 million trees, to my own work here in the European Parliament, holding the Commission accountable. It will take coordination on every level if we're to avert climate breakdown. Climate change is a global emergency and we must declare it as such now at European level. In Northern Ireland, we have declared a climate emergency at the local level as it will cause more and more disruption to business, services and to people's daily lives, draining our economy and public resources. As oceans continue to warm, sea levels will rise. This is already impacting on communities across the world in low-lying areas. The island of Ireland is at an increased risk of flooding, and that puts pressure on our drainage systems, sewerage networks, roads and water provision, which puts further pressure on public finances. It will stop us from being able to properly fund our schools, healthcare and infrastructure. So we need ambitious, pragmatic action. We need international solidarity and a coherent and unwavering commitment to joint action. Without this, our planet is at risk. So yes, the climate crisis can be overwhelming. But as Greta Thunberg said, we can't sit around and wait and hope for the best. We need to act now. We need to demand better.